Hey, I'm back, and for this video, I'm just going to be counting down my top 20 favorite video games of all time. So, of all the games I've ever played in my life, these are the ones I've held most dearly. And I'll be ranking them, though I wouldn't take the order too seriously. I mean, it's really only when you get to the top four or five then it really starts to matter a little bit more, but otherwise, this is all just done in good fun. And we're going to be just talking about each game very, very briefly. And, well, here we go. So, at number 20 is a game most have likely played on the PlayStation 2, but what I remember is the arcade version, and that's Ridge Racer 5 Arcade Battle. You know, I used to hit up my local arcade every weekend just to feed this cabinet quarters, driving every car on every track, mastering all the turns and corners. As the last arcade Ridge Racer, man, what a way to go. All right, number 19, we have Dodonpachi Daioju. And it's funny I have this on here because I'm actually not very good at this game. However, every time I played it, I just have a blast mowing down everything on screen, dodging all the crazy curtain fire just to rack up the highest score possible. Of all the shooters Cave has ever released, this one takes the top spot for me, definitely. The 18th spot goes to Ace Attorney, and I'm referring to the very first Phoenix Wright game. It's a mixture of text adventure and courtroom drama. I greatly enjoyed its episodic format, investigating each case, filled with plenty of twists, mysteries, and revelations to keep the intrigue high. And it's no surprise that it spawned a successful franchise, and well, it all started with this one. Okay, number 17 is another Capcom title, and it's Street Fighter III Third Strike. I enjoyed its deep roster, the sprite animation still holds up remarkably well today, and a hip groovy soundtrack to top it all off. Loved the pairing system, which was just a welcome mechanic and helped make this game great for competition play, and it still remains my favorite 2D fighter. 16th place belongs to The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. And playing this really felt as if I was sailing on the open seas, discovering new lands, hunting for treasure like a living cartoon pirate. You know, it's a sensation I've never quite felt before or since. And, you know, when combined with good old Zelda gameplay, it was amazing. And I think this game refined what I thought the series should be like, and Nintendo surely delivered. Number 15 is Steins Gate, an excellent science fiction adventure with its zany, colorful cast, time-traveling premise, uniquely produced artwork, and complete with multiple paths and endings to tide one over. I found very little to not like here. The star of the product, however, is above all the fantastic script, of which is superbly written, and it's reason alone to enjoy the game. Coming in at number 14 is Bust a Move 99, or Puzzle Bobble 3 if you prefer. Now, who would have thought that shooting multicolored bubbles would be so challenging yet satisfyingly good? I sure spent a lot of time trying to conquer every single one of the stages without failing, and to this day, you know, I still haven't done it, but you know, I had loads of fun trying, and someday I will make it happen. Number 13 on this list goes to Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. And aside from the racing physics for the road tracks, which were already well done, GT3 perhaps is my favorite physics and controls for rally racing of any of the ones I've tried as well. You know, that coupled with the addiction I garnered in my attempts to achieve gold in every license test, it made this game a keeper and one for the ages. This next game at number 12 is all about memories, and when a buddy of mine came over with his Famicom is when I first got to try it, and that's Mappy. I think I survived through like 19 consecutive stages before finally getting a game over, and I would replay it to no end just for those high scores and doing every bonus stage flawlessly. I mean, this was an old school classic in every sense of the word. 11th place goes to 428 Shibuya Scramble, which was a game I actually first owned on the Wii, but I didn't actually get to play it until I had it for PC. So as a visual novel using photographic stills and video, it's a gripping narrative. You know, it's filled with political intrigue and conspiracies, and the choices you make throughout the game, you know, they determine how far you get in the plot, wherein different characters' perspectives intersect and interact. It's so well crafted, you know, it actually left me speechless at times. Moving on to number 10, we've got the Tekken Tag Tournament, the first Tekken Tag Tournament. And, you know, there may have been crazier, more complex tag fighters around, but I always find myself returning to Tekken Tag. You know, I thought the system it used, it made for more interesting matches, and the fact that you get to play tag fighting with all your favorite Tekken characters at your disposal was the cherry on top. Although, to be honest, I was never good at Tekken bowling, so you know, we'll leave it at that. The honor of number 9 belongs to Metal Slug 3, the SNK Run and Gun classic. I have the fondest memories playing this on co-op with my brother as we traversed through all the different environments, the wacky, imaginative enemies, piloting a host of vehicles, taking a variety of pathways to choose from, gunning down everything in sight, and, you know, culminating in that rather long final level, but it's one that I will never ever forget. Number 8 is yet another driving game, and it's Outrun 2 SP for the arcade. As the long-awaited sequel to the Sega Classic, it honestly doesn't really matter which version you play, really. I just had a blast cruising through the stages and, you know, sustaining those drifts on turns and curves while making sure to hit those checkpoints. You know, this game, it just never failed to put a smile on my face. All right, my 7th favorite game of all time is Virtual-On Oratorio Tangram, a fast, frenetic, high-octane mech action title. Might be the only game I ever liked which stars robots, but you know, all I ever wanted to do in this game was defeat opponents using their special moves, and I really worked on nailing that for every character. And of course, finally beating the Tangram boss and, you know, watching those credits roll felt oh so rewarding. Next at number 6 is Ikaruga. What I admired most about the game was its sheer simplicity in its design. You know, I first played it when I was still an engineering student, so from a programming standpoint, I had much to appreciate from it. You know, switching polarities to get through the stages, pulling off those chains for the score attacks, trying to one credit clear on a single run. You know, I reveled in it every time I picked it up. Number 5 is Yuno, and I'll be talking about the original PC release, since that's the version I played. This game took me by surprise. I mean, with its theme centering around traveling between parallel worlds as you point and click your way through its very immersive story. I mean, there's no experience quite like it, and, you know, I applaud whoever produced this gem. 4th place goes to Pilotwings 64, and it's perhaps my favorite flight simulation game, and believe me, I've played quite a few. What I remember best was getting perfect scores on all the missions, which took me years actually, and it's probably my proudest, happiest achievement in all of gaming. And man, that soundtrack was the greatest, wasn't it? Number 3 is Squaresoft's Vagrant Story, a masterpiece of dungeon crawling. There's no shops or money, instead focusing squarely on its battle system through weapon forgery and chaining attacks. And aside from its rather hardcore gameplay, all its production values were spot on, from the visuals to the soundtrack to the characters and story. Once the game's world got a hold of me, it just never let go. The number 2 spot I gave to Soul Calibur for the Sega Dreamcast, and wow, I'll never forget everything about it. The opening cinema, the huge graphical overhaul from the arcade version, the majestic music, the slick controls, performing soul charges, completing mission battle mode, watching the Fighters Exhibition Theater, unlocking everything in the gallery. Too many memories with this one, and just thinking about it makes me want to cry. And the number 1 game to top this list of my all-time favorites is Eve Burst Error. When I first played it, I actually was bored to tears and I put it away. But when I came back to it sometime later, what I found was a smartly written visual novel, a charming overall cast, an ever-interesting mystery, and a branching narrative that unfolded, and as you switched between the two protagonists. In a nutshell, it's a work of art, just plain and simple. And there you have it. Those are my top 20 favorite video games of all time. Now, you might notice that I didn't have any games from the last 10 to 15 years or so, and that's because I haven't played much within that period of time. However, if you have any suggestions or recommendations, then feel free to let me know. Don't hesitate to tell me. And if you want to talk about your favorites, feel free to discuss that as well. Write a comment or post a link. We all love video games here, so just go for it, and we'll be free to debate and discuss whatever. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.